you can learn what every single note is on the entire fretboard of your guitar. Every single string, every single fret. You can learn this in mere minutes. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now, because that's what we're doing today on Ray Plays Guitar, where I try to make things as simple as possible. So in order for us to do this, there's only a couple things we need to know. First of all, the notes in the musical alphabet. There's only 7 of them. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. The only other thing we need to know is the distance between all of the notes. There's something called the whole step between all the notes, except between the notes B and C and E and F, where there's something called a half step. So what are whole steps and half steps? These are just a measurement of distance, just like inches, kilometers, light years. On the guitar, a half step is just the distance of 1 fret. Okay? Along the same string. That's a half step. A whole step is 2 frets. So if I started on the 2nd fret of the 6th string and went to the 4th fret of the 6th string, I just moved up a whole step. So 2 frets is a whole step. The distance of 1 fret is a half step. So let's recap. 7 letters in the musical alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. There's a whole step between all of the notes except between B and C and E and F, where we have half steps. So now let's map those notes on the fretboard. And to start, we're going to move all along the A string. This 5th string open, that note is the note A. The next note in the musical alphabet is B. B is a whole step up from A. So we need to go up a whole step on that A string, which brings us to the 2nd fret. A, B. From B to C, we have a half step, so we're going to go up 1 fret. C to D is a whole step, 2 frets. D to E is a whole step, 2 frets. E to F is a half step, whole step to G, and then a whole step brings us back to A, an octave higher. And notice this octave A lands on the double dotted fret. That's the 12th fret. That's the fret that divides the length of the entire string in half. And when you divide a string in half, you move up an octave. So here we go. We have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. If you want to continue this process beyond the 12th fret, it's the same. We're at A, whole step to B, half step to C, whole step to D, whole step to E, half step to F, whole step to G, but I run out of frets on this guitar. What we just played, these resulting notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, that just happens to be an A natural minor scale. Now, let's do the same sort of thing along the D string. The open 4th string is D. Next note in the musical alphabet is E, which is a whole step away. Brings us to the 2nd fret. E to F is a half step. F to G is a whole step. Here's G, whole step to A, whole step to B, half step to C, whole step to D. And what we just played is known as a D Dorian scale. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Now let's do this along the 3rd string. Open 3rd string is G. The next note in the musical alphabet is A. That brings us, that's a whole step up from G. That's 2nd fret. And then we have whole step up to B, half step to C, whole step to D, whole step to E, half step to F, whole step to G. And when we play those notes in succession, that's known as a G Mixolydian scale. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Sounds kind of like a major scale, but it gets a little wonky at the end. G Mixolydian. Let's do this along the B string. That's the open 2nd string. B, next note is C. That's a half step up. So now we're on the 1st fret. Whole step to D, whole step to E, half step to F, whole step to G, whole step to A, whole step to B. And yes, you guessed it, that makes a scale too. This winds up being a B Locrian scale. B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. It's the seventh mode of a diatonic set. Anyway, let's do this along the E string. We have open E, half step to F, whole step to G, whole step to A, whole step to B, half step to C, whole step to D, whole step to E. And those notes together result in what's known as an E Phrygian scale. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. And that holds true for the low E string too. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. So that's it. Pretty simple. But hey, Ray, what about all those frets that we skipped? What's happening there? Oh, good question. That's where sharps and flats come in. Okay? So, what's a sharp? A sharp is when you take a note, let's say this note here, which is the note C, 3rd fret, 5th string. Here's C. If I sharp that note, all I'm doing is moving it up a half a step, making it a half step higher than it is. C sharp. It's not rocket science here. Flat is the opposite. Here's a D. All right? That note is a D, 5th fret, 5th string. If I flat this D, I'm just lowering it a half a step. Here is C, C sharp. Here is D, D flat. But wait, that note, it's C sharp and D flat. Yes, it is. That's called enharmonic equivalents. That's your musical vocabulary word for today. Enharmonic equivalents. Knowing that makes you sound smart and stuff. Anyway, it just means two notes, two names for the same note. Same pitch, two notes. Two names for the same pitch. This happens because of when we're staying in different keys. Certain keys only have sharps, certain keys only have flats. You never mix sharps and flats together, okay? For now, all you need to know is a sharp raises a note a half a step, and a flat lowers a note a half a step. So, you have a sharp and a flat inside all of those spaces. So, again, let's take a look at this A string. Open A. The first fret then would be A sharp. Second fret is B. That means that first fret is also B flat. All right? So basically, I like to use sharps when I'm ascending, flats when I'm descending. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G sharp, A flat, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C, B flat, and A. Now, in this case where we have these naturally occurring half steps, like between B and C, if you took C and flatted it, yeah, that's C flat. B and C flat are enharmonic equivalents, just like C sharp and D flat are enharmonic equivalents. So you could also take a B and sharp it, just like you could take an E and sharp it, and that becomes F. You could take an F and flat it, and it becomes E. But there is such a thing as an E sharp and an F flat, and a B sharp and a C flat. And again, it has to do with keys and technicalities, but we don't need to bother with any of that right now. So now that we know how these notes are arranged along the fretboard, how do we really kind of get it under our fingers and kind of get it into our brains and visualize these notes? What most people wind up doing is we start to move from what we know into areas that we don't know. For example, I know the names of the open string, E, A, D, G, B, and E, which means I also know the names of the notes that are on the 12th fret. It's the same as the open string, just an octave higher. E, E, A, D, D, G, G, B, B, E, E. Okay? So, for example, if I needed to know what note is this, all right? Well, I know this is an E, and this is a whole step below E, which means it's a D. Done, all right? If I need to know what note this is, let's say, all right? 7th fret, 5th string. Well, I can count up from the open, A, B, C, D. All right, that's an E, all right? You can figure it out. What's the 4th fret of the A string? Well, A, B, C, it's C sharp. Or it's D flat. Whatever the case may be. So you move from a note that you know and count up to a note that you don't know. And eventually, the more you do this, you'll get tired of counting and you just memorize all these notes. So another tool that I use to help me go from a known note to an unknown note is Octave Shapes. This shape is an octave. You go up 2 frets and down 2 strings. That is an octave. Okay? Whatever note this is, it's the same as that note. So if I know that this is an A, that means this is also an A. That works from the 6th string and the 5th string, this shape. Okay? So if you know the names of the notes along the 6th string and the 5th string, suddenly you automatically can very easily figure out the names of the notes along the 4th string and the 3rd string just by using this octave shape to identify those notes. G, oh, there's a G. C, there's a C. A, D, D. C, C, F, and an F. Now, this shape doesn't work if we're starting from the 4th string. When we're starting from the 4th string, that other note falls beyond that G to B string threshold, so we need to adjust. So this is the shape, octave shape, that we're going to use if we start from the 4th string. It's 3 frets up and then 2 strings over. So this is a G, that's a G. This shape also works when we're starting from the 3rd string. Okay? So, G, 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 C, 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 C. See? So those are a couple ways to move from a note that we know into a note that we might not know. And eventually, the more you do that, you just learn where these notes are just by looking at your fretboard. And then suddenly, the fretboard becomes a much friendlier place to work and play. Learning the notes on the fretboard, it's a fundamental aspect of playing, and I hope this video has helped you in that regard. Thank you so much for being with me today. Please do me a favor and like and share this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and thanks once again. We'll see you next time.